desire mercy, not sacrifice. The holy prophet cries as innocent life dies at the hands of wickedness, cruelty and bloodshed. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. The knowledge of God, not man-made ritual. Daniel put aside eating anything that died, and God rewarded him with elevated understanding. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. The knowledge of God, not man-made ritual. The temple dealt in trade, where the laws the scribes has made. They said that God needs blood. That's not what Moses heard. Jesus came in a rage. He opened every cage, and who the Son sets free should always and forever be. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Jesus said the same, not once but twice. Go and learn what that means. Oh, blessed are those who show mercy, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are those who show mercy, for they shall receive mercy.
Verily I say unto you, they who partake of benefits which are gotten by wronging one of Most High God's creatures cannot be righteous, nor can they understand holy things, or teach the mysteries of the kingdom, whose hands are stained with blood, or whose mouths are defiled with flesh. The Most High God giveth the grains and the fruits of the earth for food, and for the righteous man truly there is no other lawful substance for the body. The harvest waits within the ear of corn. The vine provides a vintage newly born, no stain of red upon the table wood. The garden is a blessing pure and good. The garden is a blessing pure and good. We walk the valley with a lighter step. The ancient vows are finally being kept. Wherefore I say unto all who desire to be my followers, keep your hands from bloodshed, and let no meat enter your mouths. Keep your hands from bloodshed and let knows just and bountiful. For the Most High God is just and bountiful, the God is just and bountiful, who ordaineth that man shall live by the fruits and seeds of the earth alone. Keep your hands from bloodshed. No meat in your mouths. The fruits and seeds alone.
Hey, welcome everyone. This is Brian from Vegan Church Service, animal rights activist. It's pretty late at night and I can't get out onto the streets, so I'm going to come online. And today, if you're a non-vegan watching, welcome. I'm going to show you some hidden truths that the world hides from you. Yes, I've seen you in the comments commenting, well, I like the taste of meat. Everyone's doing it. There's nothing wrong with killing animals. Well, this is our old way of thinking. We think like this because we have been manipulated and conditioned, just like in the movie The Matrix, to think we're in this reality. We can do whatever we want, cause violence, and it has zero effect. But in fact, there's a lot been hidden from you. And today we're going to do this like a cube of truth. So if you're vegan watching, I am going to put a little tiny screen to the right here next to me. I'm going to shift across over here, put a little tiny screen here. I'm going to play some videos from the documentary Dominion, just some short clips that I would normally play on the street. So you have a choice. If you're vegan, you can turn away. You don't have to watch this, or you can just cover up that little square. If you're non-vegan and watching, you can even zoom in on your cell phone and watch this. The footage I'm about to show you is something that's been hid from you since you were a kid. And the truth is, if this would have been shown to you while you were younger, you would have probably understood why vegans, animal rights activists, go out of their way to speak up for animals. So yeah, I'm going to show some footage. Don't be afraid. If you're non-vegan watching, be open-minded. Try and understand why someone would be vegan. And first of all, the word vegan, it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle where someone eats strictly plant-based foods and they keep away from causing suffering or violence towards animals because they wouldn't want it done to themselves, and you wouldn't too, right? I guarantee 99% of all the people watching today couldn't pick up a knife and stab a cow in the throat, right? Or cut the head off. I know you couldn't. So why do we cowardly pay someone in a grocery store to do that for us? Are we that ruthless? We need the taste so badly. You got questions on the videos I'm about to show? You have questions for Vegan Church Service? My name is Brian. Put them down in the chat. I believe we are live on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to do a test run now. So if you're vegan watching, if you want to come on here and debate me, let me know. I'll put a link on the screen so you can join. You just need a camera and a microphone, and you're welcome to come on here. Let's start off with doing a little test run. I'm going to play a video to the side of me. Let me mute it. I'm going to add it to the screen. Okay, it's a little big there. So let me make some alterations here. Okay. So this is what we're going to see. We're going to see a small video just to the side of me, this side of me, kind of a mirrored image. This is just a demo. This is not the actual footage, but the video I'm about to play is what happens in the dairy industry. For some reason, people think cows naturally give milk and that milk is meant for human consumption, when in fact, it's a big fat lie. The dairy industry has lied to you. Even your parents hid this from you since you were a kid. In fact, it's absolutely shocking. If you're a minister or a pastor watching today, you'll know that in the scriptures, there's not a single scripture, the entire Bible, that says you can put your arm inside an animal and forcibly impregnate them. So why do you do this? Some special power? It's not you're not God. You can't make these ethical decisions. There's no justification to abuse animals. Cows don't naturally give milk. That's right. They have to be pregnant to give milk and have a baby. This forcible impregnation. And you remember, everyone watching probably has a mother, father, children, some kind of family or relationship with somebody. There's a bond that forms, right? And this bond is very important in life. It's probably the most important thing ever in your life, this bond you make with a friend or a family member. Who are we to separate that? That's disgusting, right? All right, so I'm going to do a little demo test. We'll see what happens. Maybe the screen will get blocked or something that I don't know. So let me go ahead and remove this video. And I'm going to start off with the dairy one, okay? Let's see where we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I don't know why it didn't go in. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me rewind this. Oh, okay, I see. All right, there is no sound, so I'm just going to talk you through. If you're non-vegan watching or vegetarian watching, please stay watching. This video I'm about to show you is what really happens in the dairy industry, and it might just make you think twice. So here, we'll play the video. If you're vegan watching, you can cover that little screen up. Don't worry about it. So this is the dairy industry. First of all, like I said, cows don't naturally give milk. They have to be forcibly impregnated. And this is what they do in the dairy industry. Standard practice on all farms. Pasture raised, organic, factory farms, they're all forcibly impregnating animals. What do we call that? If we was to forcibly impregnate someone against their will, what would that be called? I think it's an invasion of someone's privacy. This poor mother cow doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't even understand why she has a baby. So look, they have to forcibly, sometimes they put her in a headlock, and then they forcibly put the hand right in the anus. I know it's gross, it's disgusting. This is the truth. It's been hidden from you. And look, mom has a baby. So in the dairy industry, male calves are worthless to the dairy industry, and they take them away from mom. And mom is like desperate. She wants her child back. She's already built this little bond, and look, mom's chasing down the babies. They take the male calves away. Now, put yourself in mom's position here, or the baby's position. Wouldn't you be crying? Wouldn't you be like screaming for your mom, or vice versa, screaming for your child? While these so-called demon, as you call them, humans, rip away the children from mom. This is the cold, hard truth. The dairy industry doesn't want you to know. She won't be buying their products. Where do you think these male calves are going to? They're going to be taken away. Sometimes they're just a few hours old, they're brutally killed. Worthless, I guess, for the dairy industry. Or sometimes they're killed for veal. And veal is a tender piece of meat because it's a baby. You're eating someone's baby that never got to experience life like you and me. Their life was stolen from them. And I'm putting these waiting cages. And this next part is going to be graphic, but if it's good enough for your stomach, it should be good enough for your eyes, right? And the truth is this. They just want their mum. They just want life. And we hold them prison. You think you would have it in your heart to execute these kind of animals? Like I say, if you're vegan watching, you might want to cover this little screen here. This is the dairy industry. Male calves been slaughtered. They have a bullet through their head, just a couple of hours old, shackled by the feet and ripped to pieces, knife sliced open. And this happens when we blindly go into the grocery store and pay the dairy industry for their products. This stolen milk from a male calf that, by the way, I just remind you, didn't want to die. And we have this choice. We can be ruthless or merciful when we purchase products at the grocery store. This is what you're paying for. If you wouldn't pick up a knife and do this yourself, stop paying others to do this for you. This is shocking. This is disgusting. This appalls me. I'm ashamed of mankind. Yeah, they call this humane slaughter. How can you lovingly slice the throat of a male calf that didn't want to die? This is shocking, right? This is what happens in the dairy industry. They hide this from us. If you would have known this, would you still buy this milk? Choose a plant-based alternative. Don't have the blood on your hands. These animals begged for their life. Females separated from mum, locked in little cages like this, they're going to be enslaved too. Forcibly impregnated over and over again, having baby after baby after baby until they can't produce any more, and then they're executed. They go the same place the children go. It's a life of slavery and suffering. Look at this exhausted mother. She can't take it anymore. Treated like a product, a commodity. Can you just imagine the pain she's going through? If you're a vegan watching, you might want to cover the little screen here. Oh, I think I cut that last part out. Okay. Well, that was the dairy industry. And if you have any questions for me, put them down in the chat or the comments about what you just watched. I'm here to answer any questions. If you're watching and you're against animal abuse, if you thought that was wrong, what you just watched, killing of male calves, the worthless in the dairy industry, you think that was wrong, put it in the comments, ask me a question. Are you against animal abuse? Do you think we can be against animal abuse? We can say we are while we're going into the store, paying for meat, eggs, or dairy, paying for that to happen? What would that make me? If I say I'm against what I just watched and I'm paying for it to happen in the store, am I lying about something? I'm lying about one of them, right? I'd be a hypocrite. So what kind of person are you watching here today? Are you a hypocrite? That was the dairy industry. That's one little thing that this world hides from you. So today I share the truth. There's a documentary. You see it in the background here. It's called Dominion. It's free to watch, and you can watch it for free at watchdominion.com. And watch it on the big screen. And I'm telling you, if you think that milk that was stolen from a male calf is good enough for your stomach, check out this documentary for free. Watchdominion.com and make up your own mind. Don't blindly believe anything anyone tells you. You've got to research these things. Search. Once you see the suffering animals go through, once you hear the screams they go through, you'll think twice when you're in the grocery store paying for it to happen. I know these things because I've gone through these. I've experienced these emotions, these feelings, and this is why I'm here today. I defend animals that don't want to die. Just like I would be defending you if you was in the situation. What about eggs? There's nothing wrong with eating eggs, right? Where's the evil in eating eggs? Wow. Well, again, I've got a short video here that we're going to play. And like I said, if you're vegan watching, when I play the short video, you might want to just cover that part of the video. It's going to be over this, let's see, over this side. And it's just going to show how male chicks, the secrets, what they hide from the customer. Like when we go into a grocery store and we pay for eggs, you have different type of eggs. You have the caged eggs, you know, the cheap ones. And then you have what is the free range? You know what free range means? You have pasture raised, cage free, organic. So all these names are actually designed to make your purchasing choices easier. You feel less guilty buying eggs that this animal was caged their entire life. You buy a free range egg, think, oh, well, I'm being nice, and I bought these free range eggs and to help the chickens out. When in fact, your purchasing choices don't help the chickens whatsoever. These are just manipulation tactics to make you still buy their products. And this is how it works. Free range. They remove the cages and put thousands upon thousands, and I've seen this, 50,000 chickens all crammed into one shed, pooping and peeing all over each other. The noise is unbearable, pecking each other, eggs everywhere. The farmer goes in, kills the weak and throws out the dead. They stop laying eggs, they kill them. It's a living nightmare for hens, and they hide this from us. What happens to male chicks and female chicks? All right, you ready for the video? I'm going to show you a snippet, but you can watch this full documentary at watchdominion.com. So, all right, I'm going to play that little video here. Okay, let's make it. Did I get that right? Give me a second. There we go. So, male chicks, day one of life, worthless to the egg industry. They drop them alive in a macerator. Can you imagine this? How disrespectful is this to life? Isn't life important? Male chicks, they eat too much seed and don't lay eggs. So they kill them as soon as they're born. A minute old, looking for mom, chopped up alive. Let's use the golden rule and put ourselves in that position. Would you want to go through this really? Don't you want to be with your mother when you're born? This bond, this relationship. When we go on the stone, we pay for eggs. This is what you're paying for. This is where your money goes to. I ask people, examine your hearts. What kind of person are you? Show a little bit of mercy. Can we do that? Look what happens to the females. They go onto this machine. They're injected with hormones and antibiotics to help prevent the spread of diseases. They have their beaks cut off with a laser so they don't peck each other while they're in confinement. These are the caged hens. Look how miserable and sad they look. They'll be forced to stay in there every day until they can't survive anymore, exploited for their eggs. Because we go on the store and we pay for these eggs. So there's a factory farm here where they have thousands upon thousands. Here's your free range. They've removed the cage. Now they move around. Do they look happy now? They look free? No, they're in the dock saving electricity, standing in their own poop. These chickens barely make it to 6-month-old. Exploited for the eggs. Look at the feather. Can you imagine the noise in there? Check out this documentary, Dominion, at watchdominion.com for the full story of what goes on here. When they're not profitable, look, this is probably the first time they get out the fresh air in the face. They're on the way to be executed. Slaughter truck. They've never done anything wrong. I mean, if you're lucky enough to be male, you're executed immediately. And if you're female, you're going to be exploited and then executed. Shackled by... How can we treat someone so vulnerable like this? Shackled by the feet, throat sliced open, ripped to pieces? Are we so ruthless? If you have questions, put them down in the comments. I'm going to check the comments here. Hello, X. Great to see you. Sorry about the footage I'm playing. Today we're playing The Truth. I'm showing clippets from the documentary Dominion. So for anybody watching, if you're non-vegan, zoom in on your phone to this little video that I play here, because it shows you the truth in the meat, egg, and dairy industry that they hide from you. So yeah, check that out, my friends. So we've already gone over the dairy. We've already gone over the eggs there. When I go in the grocery store, am I being evil and cruel when I pay for eggs? Male chicks executed alive, a couple of minutes old. Females' beaks removed, slaughtered when they don't produce no more eggs. You don't think that's evil? To cause that kind of suffering and torture? It's pure evil, my friends. We've been so misled and manipulated to think good is evil, evil is good. Check it out, the documentary Dominion at watchdominion.com. So what else happens in this documentary? What other lies does the world tell us? What about pigs? We shall go to the pigs next. So after understanding that using animals is unnecessary, I can't imagine still using them after seeing only one thing in these clips. Amen, that's right. I've outreached to many of people out in the streets, and there's two type of people in the streets. There's two type of people watching, actually. Well, three. There's those that are vegan, have made this ethical choice to show mercy and stop paying for these suffering, torturing things to happen. And then there's two other people. We have those that are oblivious to the horrors that goes on to these animals, and are just waiting to be woke up to face the truth, like watching this documentary, Dominion, at watchdominion.com. It's free. And then we have that third person that has watched this documentary and don't see nothing wrong with it. The heart is so hard. I pray for you. I have no more hope for you. And what can I say? Can we completely go 100% cruel? Can we go so hard in here? If you were these animals suffering in prison today, if you were suffering in prison today, screaming, please let me out of here, help me, would you want me to try? Of course you would. It's the golden rule, my friends. All right, let's move over to pigs. You know, a loving person, a family member, is a very helpful person in the community, goes to a grocery store, thinks they're just buying food for their family, a nice meal at home, when in fact we're causing a chain of events. Pigs. Did you know pigs spend their entire life in concrete sheds? Of course you don't. The world doesn't want you to know what happens with pigs. Forcibly impregnated. 6-month-old executed at 6-month-old? What? Little pigs that don't grow fast enough, they grab them by the feet and smack their heads in against the floor. Standard practice. Local farms, factory farms, organic farms. It's all around the world. Check out the documentary Dominion, watchdominion.com. They hide it from you. I'm going to play a short video of what happens to pigs that they hide from you. Check it out. It's going to be on this little screen here. And here we go. Let me see if I can just change that a little. So it's tiny little screen. So these are little piglets with mum. Mum's forcibly impregnated over and over again. And they've locked her in this tiny little cage. All she can do is turn over one side to the other. And sometimes she'll squash the little piglets because they can barely move. She can't really help them. Only the strong survive here. And, you know, she leans on them sometimes and they die. Did you know animals have emotions just like you and me? Because they want to live. They have a desire to live. And they look upon you and me for support. Look, they're smashing the pigs' heads. Not growing fast enough. This is what we pay for when we go in the store. Look at the flies and all the bugs. They just throw the dead in the garbage. They cut the teeth out. No pain anesthetic. Cut the tails off and rip the testicles out. I've heard them screaming. This is standard practice all around the world. And then they're fed nothing but cornmeal until they're 6 months old. Look, these piglets took away from mum. These are called grower pens, and they'll stay in these grower pens, usually in the dark, in concrete sheds to save money, and just fed nothing but corn powder. Their entire existence. Praying for hope every day, right? All they have is each other. That's it. And what do? We steal it from them. It breaks my heart. 6 months old. They're still children. That little mark you see on the back, that blue mark, that means kill me. They send them to gas chambers. Dragged underground, not to kill them, but just to stun them. They panic for breath as they suffocate. They did the same kind of thing during the Second World War. People didn't like that, right? They take them out of the gas chamber before the heart stops, rip them to pieces, shackled by the feet. It's standard practice all around the world. When we go into the grocery store, This is what we're paying for. If you're watching today, you say, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. I'm against this. You have to stop being a hypocrite, because you can't go into the grocery store and pay for this to happen and say you're against it, because you're lying. You don't care. Do you really care? If you cared, you would stop and change your ways. What can we say? You want to see the full story? I'm showing you snippets today. This documentary, Dominion, in the background at watchdominion.com, it's free to watch, shows you everything that happens. And this was all recorded in 2018. So don't tell me this is the old days. This is standard practice everywhere today. I'm tired of having to show this to people. So if you're watching today and you're non-vegan, speak up. Tell me if you think this is wrong. Tell me if you think there's a more humane way to take someone's life that doesn't want to die. If you could stop this, if you could stop the execution of animals and their suffering and pain, would you? If I give you an opportunity today, would you turn away from this? It's not your fault. You were manipulated as a kid. If your mom would have done this in front of you as a child, you would have already been living this vegan lifestyle. So this is how to watch. If you're vegan watching, you might want to just cover that little screen. If you're non-vegan, zoom into it on your phone. Zoom right in there. This is what happens. These are 6-month-old pigs having their throats sliced open. Can you imagine doing this job all day? You don't want to die. I'm out here today trying to convince you, stop being so cold-hearted killers, paying for this to happen, and turn away. Go and eat some vegetables. Eat something else and not someone else. You don't feel any shame. You don't feel any kind of emotion. Any kind of emotion at all. If you do, put it in the comments. These pigs here, 6 months old, electrified because they're not doing as they're told. Because they're terrified. They're in fear. They were scared of this man. He's going around with a big knife and a gun. He's electrocuting them because they're not doing as they're told. You think, oh, this is not a standard practice, Brian. Yes, this is standard practice all around the world. They all have their different killing and murder weapons in these slaughterhouses. Yeah, so if you're vegan watching, you can cover the little video if you need to. And today we're doing this. This is an online cube of truth. So anyone non-vegan watching, what I want you to do is to zoom into the little video here on your phone and watch this. This is what the world hides from you. And when you were a child, your parents hid this from you. The church hid it from you. The modern day world hides it from you. The modern day church pastor says to you, you can do this, it's fine. God said you can do this. I know 99% of non-vegans watching wouldn't stab an animal in the throat or chop the head off. You'd find that horrendous to actually hurt an animal in front of you. Look them in the eyes while they're screaming and trying to pull away. You would be horrified with this. So why are you paying people to do this for you? We have to make this connection today if we're non-vegan. If you're non-vegan watching and you're against this kind of animal abuse, let me know in the comments. Because we can't be against this while we're going into the store paying for it to happen. We need to align our actions with our morals. If I say I'm against this, I need to change my actions. You can't be paying for this to happen anymore. We have a comment here. Hey Daniel, thank you for watching. This is just by Boric. Please be vegan and leave the animals alone, everyone. So Daniel has already made this, and like Ox here, they've both made this They both watched this documentary, and in their hearts, they made this ethical decision to turn away from this kind of suffering. They made this ethical decision to show mercy and no longer contribute towards their suffering. They aligned their actions when they go in the grocery store with their words. They say they're against this animal abuse, and then they went into the store and paid for fruits and vegetables and seeds and breads and rice, actually the cheapest food in the grocery store. Turned away from this suffering. This, my friends, is the truth, the shocking truth. In the meat industry, they hide from you. Why do you think they don't do this at home? Your parents don't do this in front of you. Or you don't take the kids down to the slaughterhouse to watch the animals being killed. Because once we make this connection, you'll no longer pay for this to happen. I've seen many of people change their purchasing choices in the store and turn away from this violence, this hard-hearted, callous evilness. Are you evil watching today? You're paying for this to happen and you don't care? This is what you want in life. This is the most important thing in life to you, to cause evil and violence for this big fat stomach you have, suckling the karma from this fear these animals go through. Chickens. Vulnerable little birds that just want to enjoy life like you and me. They hide this from us. They're forcibly impregnating them, built by the billions and thousands. In these sheds alone, there's 50,000 little birds in each shed, grown in incubators. They don't know the difference between the males and females until they hatch, and that's when they destroy the males. Females grow fast, lay eggs, profitable. It's all about the money. Check out the documentary Dominion at watchdominion.com. Let me put a little barcode here on the screen. You see it at the top there. So that barcode there, for anyone watching that wants to watch the full documentary, you can scan that barcode or take a screenshot, and then you press your finger on the screenshot or something, I don't know, and it takes you to watchdominion.com, the full documentary of these video clips that I'm playing today. So, check it out. It's all free. Oh, the truth is always free, my friends. You don't need to sign up for no subscription or give me 10% of your earnings. I'm not going to make you buy anything. It's not a scam when we show the cold, hard truth. All right, let's take a breather from the videos here. I'm going to show a couple of slides on the screen, and I'm going to read these out. Kill not, neither eat the flesh of your innocent prey, lest you become slaves of Satan. What? If I eat the flesh of murdered animals screaming for mercy, if I eat their flesh, I'm a slave of Satan? Wow. Very bold words, highlighted in red there. For that path of suffering, and it leads into death. But do the will of God, that his angels may serve you on the way of life. God clearly wants us to turn away from causing violence and bloodshed. What happens when we ignore God and you eat this flesh of the animals? How did Satan make you eat this flesh? You like the taste, right? He got you. That's it. You found a weakness in your selfish desires for this flesh. Let's look at another slide. Verily I say unto you, they who partake of the benefits are gotten by wrong in one of the Most High God's creatures cannot be righteous, nor can they understand holy things or to teach the mysteries of the kingdom. And this is because you'll never understand God's word in the scriptures. Remember, if you're non-vegan watching, you've read the scriptures and thought, I'm going to have to go and ask the pastor about this. I don't understand it. This is why. Slaves of Satan, this bloodthirst for flesh, you'll never understand. We have to show an act of mercy and come before God and start doing things that are holy, kind. Let me read on there. Whose hands are stained with blood, or whose mouths are defiled with flesh. The Most High God giveth the grains and the fruits of the earth for food. And for the righteous man, truly there is no other lawful substance for the body. So we have a choice today. We can put murdered, suffering animals in our body that are poisonous, or we can eat fruits and vegetables that God provides. One comes with Satan as you're his slave, and the other one becomes with love and your Father in heaven. It's a no-brainer. Jesus came and put an end to the sacrificial system. We're sacrificing animals today for pleasure and taste. Let me read on here. Wherefore I say unto all who desire to be my followers, keep your hands from bloodshed, and let no meat enter your mouths. For the Most High God is just and bountiful, who ordaineth that man shall live by the fruits and the seeds of the earth alone. It's very clear. You might, well, I've never read that before, Brian. Hopefully you'll understand it. The documentary is called Dominion. It's free to watch at watchdominion.com. Love would never command sacrifices. Yeah, and this is one of the hard things I try and explain through the Bible. And it's very hard to understand this because before you made this ethical change in your heart, we were trained to accept the Bible as a whole picture and not to call any word of it corrupt or a lie, because it has to be all God inspired. This is a red flag in itself. I remember the first time I went to church and asked this, he said, Brian, you have to accept the whole Bible as the word of God. If you call yourself a Christian, you can't doubt any of it. That's a red flag. Come on, think about this logically. Isn't it the best place to put lies? If someone says this is all the truth, it's the best place. So Jeremiah points it out in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. He clearly says that the lying pen of scribes purposely lied to mislead people. God does everything in love. He never, ever asked for sacrifices. And people don't make this connection too. They think sacrificing animals was done on altars for their sin. Different types of sacrifices, right? We're sacrificing animals today. We're sacrificing their entire life for your stomach. God says he never asked for sacrifices. He doesn't say in the Bible, I never asked for sacrifices for sin. Or he doesn't say, I never asked for sacrifices for food. He says, I never asked for sacrifices, period. We've been tricked by this world to cause violence and suffering to innocent animals, and they hide this away from us in slaughterhouses, where this documentary shows it, watchdominion.com. They are trying to shut me down from showing you this documentary, and it's free. There's no catch. It's absolutely free. Watch it on the big TV at home, watchdominion.com. I think it's on YouTube as well. You'll recognize the picture there in the background. But absolutely right, Daniel. Love would never command sacrifices. Can you imagine acting in love, saying, okay, son, I forgive you, but here's a knife. Go ahead and murder that innocent animal for me and give me that blood. Pour it in the ground for me. What? That's idiotic. You know how to forgive someone? It's an act of love. There's no sacrifice needed. This is how you forgive someone. It comes out of the heart. It's hard to explain forgiveness. It just comes out of the heart, and it's an emotion, an overwhelming emotion that just lets it go. And it's an act of love. It's probably because you love them or you just want to be kind, right? This is how we forgive and show love. This is what God wants from us. They're called, actually, living sacrifices. God wants us to turn away from this violence. That's called a living sacrifice, giving up something that is not good for you. It's a living sacrifice. You're telling God with all your heart, mind, and soul that you'll love him with all you've got when you're showing love, drawing nearer to God as he draws near to you. Thank you, Ox, for the comment. All that suffering is a little taste pleasure that can be easily substituted with plants. Amen. Absolutely. They sell plant-based Well, let's talk about drugs for a second. Like heroin or cocaine. They make a substitute cocaine, a substitute heroin for people that want to get off. And they get onto these fake drugs that wean them off this addiction and this taste. It's the same when a person wants to give up causing suffering to animals and they want to start moving to this plant-based foods. The vegan industry produces like some mock things similar to this, like they do like a plant-based meats, plant-based chicken, plant-based eggs, even plant-based everything. So you can make a transition, if you can't give up these tastes and pleasures. It's a slow transition. But what I kind of ask people is, when in your heart and in your mind you're trying to think, well, I like the taste, well, they suffer. We should never be weighing that up, right? Some taste and suffering. It's clear when we think about taste and suffering. Use the golden rule. If this is me suffering, please don't focus on your taste. So yeah, turn away from suffering, no matter the cost of all the taste. And that's the simple fact. Plant-based. Today I bought so many groceries, all plant-based, and it's the cheapest food. I bought avocados, large avocados, 56 cents each. Limes, 25 cents. Spring onions, 97 cents, a huge bundle. A pineapple, $1.98. These are real prices. I've got a video. I'll upload it later. Cheapest food in the market. We should never be weighing that one up too. Well, it costs too much. Suffering, it costs too much. What kind of person are we? Think logically. Don't cause suffering. Oh, I pay a penny more. Come on. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's got about 5 people watching. Hopefully we got some non-vegan people watching, or maybe some vegetarian people watching. This is a cube of truth online, and what I'm here to do today, I'm showing the hidden truth in the meat, egg, and dairy industry. The stuff they hide from you. And I'm going to give you a choice while you watch this. You can go to watchdominion.com and watch it for free at home, the whole documentary. It was made in 2018, and it shows you all the hidden truths they don't want you to see. It's free. Or I'm going to show a little video clip over here, a little tiny video clip. It's going to be minimized. So if you're non-vegan watching, you can zoom into it. If you're vegan watching, you can cover it up or just move back away from the screen a little bit. But I'm going to start off in the dairy industry. We'll go through this one more time here. In the dairy industry, people think, how can I be evil or cruel if I'm just paying for milk? Right? We know deep down in our hearts it's evil to pay for an animal to be killed and eat their flesh, right? Come on, there's an act of cruelness that has to happen, an act of violence. We know that. That's clear. We'll talk about that in a little while. But dairy, where's the evil in drinking milk from a cow? There's no suffering involved, right? They hide the truth from you. There's a web of deception, and this documentary goes into detail into it. Let's start with our little clip of the dairy. I'm going to put it on the screen. So like I said, I'm going to keep it small. There is no sound. And of course, cows do not naturally give milk. They have to be pregnant over and over again. So the farmers, now it doesn't matter what kind of farm it is, these farmers forcibly impregnate the cows, of course, against their will. And there isn't a single scripture in any book that says God said you can forcibly stick your hand and invade an animal and forcibly impregnate them. What would we call that if we forcibly impregnated people? So cows, against their will, forcibly impregnated over and over again. She doesn't have a clue what's going on. And this is, do you know why this is not done in the public? It's not done in the open? Because it's shocking, right? Once you start to learn this truth. And it's not just cows here. It happens to all animals. Forcibly impregnate. You can say, Brian, no, this doesn't happen everywhere. Well, it does, because I worked on a dairy farm for 2 years. I went to agricultural college. I've done this. I know these things. So don't call me a liar. I know these things. Yes, I'm ashamed of myself. This is what happens with the male calves when they're born. They are worthless to the dairy industry. They don't produce milk, they don't grow quick enough, and sometimes a few hours old, brutally killed. Worthless to the dairy industry. Mum just wants to have a relationship with her child. They build this bond. You know the bond I'm talking about. A mother and a child, or a father and a child. It's inseparable. When you lose someone you really love, don't you burst into tears? Can you imagine having your child taken away from you? This is what happens in the dairy industry. Standard practice, pasture-raised, organic, factory-raised, local farms everywhere around the world, they take the male calves away from mum. They can't have the babies drinking the milk that you're purchasing. So when we go into the grocery store, we're paying for this separation, this hurt and pain mum or baby goes through. A mum will pine for weeks after the baby's taken away. Well, if we had a choice today to keep mum and baby together by choosing a plant-based alternative and no longer contributing towards this kind of suffering, right? We do have that choice today. Sorry, the video is playing a little slow, but that's okay. If you're new watching, you're non-vegan and you didn't know these things and you want to ask a question, please, no question is stupid. Put it in the comments. If you want to come on here, you've got a camera and microphone, let me know. I'll put a link on there. You can come on and discuss with me what's on your mind. Because this happens. I know it happens. I've been there. I've been to agricultural college. I've been worked on farms for years. I know these things. What do you think happens to mum when she can't produce no more babies? Because mum's forcibly impregnated over and over again. Look how she chases her baby there locked in a cage. Let's put ourselves, use the golden rule here, put yourself in the little male calves. Be terrified. You just want your mum and you've been taken away, locked in a cage with all these other little calves. You don't understand what's going on because you're a baby. I've been up close with these animals. You know, they cry. The farmer says, no, they don't cry, really. What's this wet stuff around the eyes? Come on, we're not stupid. They want their mother. The dairy industries, after they've taken your money for their milk, say they're worthless and execute them. Sometimes a few hours old, shackled by the feet, a bolt through the head, or sometimes electrified in the head. There are children pining for mum. What do you think mum's going through? She didn't even know how she got pregnant, and then she has this son or daughter being dragged away from her. It's horrifying, right? The dairy industry. If you're vegetarian watching, you think, well, the milk part, yeah, I do my part. I won't eat the flesh because I'm against that kind of suffering. Where do you think mum goes to? And the male calves. They are the meat industry. They execute mum and mix her in with a so-called hamburger, whatever you want to call it. And there you go. That's the dairy industry. No, that video is playing real slow. I'll just remove it from the screen there. All right, so if anyone's non-vegan watching and you want to explain to me why I should maybe go non-vegan and why it should be okay to kill animals and devour them. I mean, we've always done it, right? Does that make it okay? Imprison them? I mean, are they intelligent animals? Does it make a difference if they're intelligent or less intelligent? Does it make a difference if they have a soul like you and me or not? I mean, what's the golden rule? This is one of the two secrets I've learned in life. You can put yourself in someone else's shoes just for 1 minute and try and understand what they're going through or what they're feeling, these emotions. You would probably stop in your actions, right? If you're non-vegan watching and you thought that was horrendous, what you just observed there about that the male calf industry, check out this documentary. WatchDominion.com. It's free to watch. And wow, what can I say? They don't hide anything in this documentary. The church says everything you just watched is okay. God said you can do that. God said you can cause the suffering and pain and violence to them, forcibly impregnate them. This is what the church says. Is that a justification to be cruel in here, in this heart? It's cruel to contribute towards that suffering you just observed. And I'm going to hold you accountable. You are a cold-hearted murderer. That's right. You say, well, it's not a sin to eat meat. Yes, it is. It's a sin to commit acts of violence and murder to the least of your brother. That's right. Animals are all God's creation. We're meant to be stewards taking care of them. Shocking. Yeah, I don't know if you're watching. Some people may be watching from Facebook. Let me pull that up on Facebook. I don't get to see all the comments, but I'm just going to go over there and check real quick on the other screen here. Okay. I have to go to one other page. Okay. Okay, the video's playing good. The documentary Dominion. Little self-testimony. I was never vegan my whole life. I was a non-vegan, actually born non-vegan, just like probably most people. And my parents never killed the animals in front of me. They never cut their heads off. And I never heard animals screaming or begging for mercy. I never saw the blood go everywhere as a child. This was kind of hidden from us as kids because they kill the animals in places called slaughterhouses, right? So we can't see them. And in fact, if that was shown to you as a kid, your parents would probably cover your eyes or tell you not to look, right? They wouldn't want you, what they call it, traumatized. Well, the truth is, when people hide the truth from you, it hardens the heart. It sets you on a path with the wrong information in the world, and we think we're doing something good when in fact we're causing and contributing towards these horrors that I just talked about, this violence. So our parents hide this documentary from us at watchdominion.com. They hid it from us. And maybe they did it within good intent. Maybe this is the way they was taught. But I'm like that movie, The Matrix. I'm out here today to wake people up and show the truth. I know there's some people out there watching today with open minds thinking, you know what? I'm going to watch that documentary. I'm not going to listen to Brian, though. I'm going to watch it and make up my own mind. Go for it. That's all I ask. You make up your own mind. Don't blindly believe people that they say, oh, God said you can stab the animals in the throat, rip their heads off, forcibly impregnate them and rip them to pieces, and because you like the taste, right? That's like focusing on my selfish desire. God said I can focus on my selfish desires and not worry about the suffering of others. That sounds like deception to me. All right, how about a break? Let's have a couple of minute break here while I take a breather. That's my break. We'll take a break. Where are you watching from, people? Facebook? Are you watching? I think a lot of people on Facebook come to the Vegan Church Service page. And well, it's not really a church. We're actually a community of people that believe in this compassionate God and follow a vegan lifestyle where we don't cause violence or suffering to animals. And it's a learning curve. At first, I learned that, wow, animals die for me when I eat their flesh. I don't want part of that. So I learned, I don't want to cause that suffering. And then I learned more, like, am I causing suffering with eggs? Yes. Wow. Milk? Yes. And then there's like clothing, and then it goes on and on and on this list. And I found that the more I turn away from these sufferings, the closer I draw to God, and the more God becomes more realistic to me. I said we draw closer to God. And if you're a follower of God and you want to be 10 times closer to God, I'm asking you to choose mercy and turn away from being cruel and violent, and you're going to experience God on a whole new level. I'm telling you, 10 times higher than you've experienced God before. And it mentions this in the book of Daniel. Daniel stood up to this ruthless king, and he could have had his head chopped off, and he said, I don't want none of your delicacies. Do you know what delicacies are in this world today? It's the flesh of animals, the milk, the eggs. This is the delicacies, deceptive foods. And Daniel said, I don't want any of these delicacies. Give us nothing but fruits and vegetables for 10 days. And you'll see the change in us. And after 10 days, the king and all the people observed Daniel and his friends were 10 times healthier. They were 10 times full of wisdom and the knowledge of God. 10 times closer to God. I've spoken with many people today that have done this act of going vegan, and they have experienced this great awakening, the truth that revealed, the blinkers removed from their eyes, and they feel 10 times closer to God. Don't you want to experience this 10 times closer to God? All you have to do is show mercy to God's creation. What an act. An unconditional act. Show mercy to God's creation and get God to notice you. The corner of his eye, he'll notice when you do this sincerely at home, the privacy of your own home. Make a meal without causing suffering and violence to others, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's an amazing act of emotion that we can do. I wish I could just wake up the rest of the world, though. We can be manipulated and conditioned to say, you know what? I don't care about the suffering and violence. I'm a ruthless leader of this world. I can do whatever I want. I'm telling you, my friend, this is the broad path of violence and destruction. Don't go down that path. Anyway, I'm going to play a song on the screen. Check it out. It's called Jeremiah. I made this song using AI. I put some images together. The images go with the words. So check out the images and listen to the words. Jeremiah was a prophet in the Bible that defended God, that God never wanted sacrifices, and even calls out the corrupt. His own townsmen were against him, and they were calling him a treasonist. He was just telling the world the same things Jesus was. And look what we did to Jesus. Look what they did to Jeremiah. So check it out. It's about 3 minutes long. I'm going to put it, I think I can put the whole thing on the screen. Hopefully it plays up to speed. Let me see here real quickly. And if anyone has to go, please feel free to go. And let me see, where's my Jeremiah song? Okay. I think it's here now. I'm going to put it on the screen.
So weary in the hand of the scribe, polishing a truth that was meant for the tribe. They've altered the ink, they've sharpened the lie. Under the weight of a darkening sky, in the silent chambers where the scrolls are bound, a hollow echo is the only sound. Burn your offering, stack the wood high, but the smoke is just vapor against the sky. He didn't whisper for the blood on the stone. He sought a heart that could stand on its own. I didn't speak of the flame and the fleece. I offered a path to a holier peace. A lamb doesn't know why the knife has to fall. A sparrow is heard in the heavenly hall. We share the same breath, we are knit in the bone. No creature should suffer to fix what is sown. His love isn't selective, it isn't a wall. It's a mercy that covers the great and the small. Burn your offering, stack the wood high, but the smoke is just vapor against the sky. He didn't whisper for the blood on the stone. He sought a heart that could stand on its own. I didn't speak of the flame and the fleece. I offered a path to a holier peace. Can a pen undo what was meant for the soul? Can a ritual make the broken one whole? When the temple is empty and the altars are bare, only the weight of our mercy is there. Burn your offering, stack the wood high, but the smoke is just vapor against the sky. He didn't whisper for the blood on the stone. He sought a heart that could stand on its own. I didn't speak of the flame and the fleece. I offered a path to a holier peace. God desires mercy, not sacrificing.
Yeah, it's true. God never asked for sacrifices. The church lied and said God wants us. Think about this logically, friends. God says, okay, I'm only going to forgive you for your sins if you murder an animal and shed their innocent blood. Think about how's that blood going to wash you of your sin? It's impossible, my friends. Jesus came and spoke in the book of Matthew and said, to get forgiveness of your sin, you don't need a sacrifice. You put your hands together and ask God for forgiveness and repent. This is how you get forgiveness of sin. Jeremiah, what an amazing prophet through the scriptures there. He was speaking to put an end to the sacrificial system back in the day. Jesus came to put an end to the sacrificial system. I'm here today to put an end to the sacrificial system that's in place today. The world is, what did I press there? The world is killing animals. What's going on here? The world is killing animals all around the world, sacrificing their lives, separating mom from babies, destroying them for our pleasure and taste. It's a sacrificial system you've been tricked and locked into. You can be free from this, escape this matrix by showing mercy to God's creation. One simple act of love starts the process. It opens that gateway, and I think you'll never look back. The documentary, if you're new watching, the documentary Dominion is free to watch. There's a link above my head here, or wherever you're watching from. It's called watchdominion.com. You can pull it up on your phone or on the big TV screen. You can get it on YouTube as well. And it shows you the hidden truth in this world from the meat, egg, and dairy industry that the world hides from you. And I can't believe that people of the church, modern day pastors, I remember asking a pastor once, do animals have a soul? And this pastor that had worked in the church 50, 60 years has probably read the Bible, wouldn't you agree? 200 times, all the way through. He's memorized scriptures. I remember talking to him. He quotes scriptures just like this. I have to pause and look them up. I just don't know how they do that so good. I said to him, do animals have a soul? He said, Brian, I don't know. I don't think they do. He's the expert. What kind of answer is that? Is that what we say when we can't find the answer that says no? Because that's what the truth is. I know 10 scriptures in the Bible that says animals have a soul. How about that? I challenge people watching, go and research. Don't blindly believe everything I say. Go research these things. Animals have a soul. The pastor lied to me. He lied to me. And I know how it works in the modern day churches. Pastors are not allowed to give their own opinions about things. They have a set of rules that they have to abide by, that they all agree with when they're explaining scriptures. Wow. I remember a pastor saying to me, Brian, well, you shouldn't go by your own understanding. Why? That's a red flag too. Yes, Go by your emotions. Go by your feeling. If your conscience is in, if you've seen an animal suffering and your conscience is saying, wait a minute, that's horrible, this is wrong, listen to that conscience. Do not ignore it or suppress it. You must listen to your emotions and feelings. They're there to protect you. When you feel feared and scared, those emotions are there to protect you. When you see fear and terror in other animals and you feel remorse and empathy, they're there to protect you. God, this is how God speaks to us, through our emotions and our feelings. And what the world does, it hardens our heart and separates you from God. A hardened heart, a temple full of sacrificed animals, unpleasing to God. He says in the scriptures, he won't even listen to your prayers because your hands are stained with blood. And that's the cold hard truth there. Yeah, so Vegan Church Service, if you're new watching, if you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, hit that subscribe button or the follow button. Leave a comment down below, say where you're watching from. Oh, got another comment here. If you want to come on here and say hello, if you got a camera, a microphone, you want to come on here, maybe share your testimony. Be bold. Be bold. Pick up that light from under the bed and hold it up high here and come on and share your testimony. Yeah, let me know. I can hook something up for later, or you can come on live. If you're non-vegan or maybe you're a farmer or a pastor and you disagree with everything I say, I'm respectful. Come on here. Prove yourself to me. I'm open-minded. I am willing to change. I'm willing to choose a more compassionate choice if you want to offer one to me, but I'm certainly not going to choose cruelty or suffering. If you can offer me a more compassionate choice than the path I'm on, I will take it gladly. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the encouragement, my friend Ox. Yeah, it's always nice to be encouraged, to outreach. So let me see, we've been on here about an hour. I just come off a call with James Benefico. I don't know if you saw that in my live tab on YouTube there. So spent an hour with James Daniel. I think you were there. Maybe Ox. I don't remember. I've been so busy today. I did an hour recording, like a pre-recording. I'm not going to do a pre-recording tomorrow for the Sabbath. I'm just going to go live. There we go. We're just going to go live and we're going to discuss that God is vegan. There you go. That's going to shock a few people when I tell them that God is vegan and I can prove it 100%. And so if God's vegan, what would Satan be? If he's not vegan, what would he be? And whose image are we portraying in the things we do in this world? Am I portraying this vegan God, or am I portraying this murderer, liar, manipulator, conditioner? The broad path. So that's tomorrow's Bible study. Come and join me. It's 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be we'll be live on Facebook, Vegan Church Service page, and the group there on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. I think you get a choice. You can watch on this widescreen, or you can watch on the vertical as well. I think it sends them out on both. But yeah, we're going to go through a few scriptures. I'll include a couple of advertisements. Actually, let's do one right now, actually. Let's watch a short PETA, Animal Rights Organization PETA video. I think I have a new one right here. Let me find it here. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, let's play a short video here.
Smart devices may be smart, but they aren't always honest. Introducing Truth Mode.
Alexa, can you help me find an easy chicken finger recipe?
Okay, first,
Dip the mother's carcass into the scrambled remains of her unfertilized egg. Make sure to really scramble that reproductive goop.
Helping your kids with their homework.
Hey Siri, I need help with the sentence. You can't make an omelet without...
You can't make an omelet without grinding up day-old male chicks, as they are pretty useless for the egg industry.
With Truth Mode, you can enjoy lightning-fast, incredibly precise results on every query.
Hey Siri, what's a 5-letter ingredient in every burger in America?
The word you're looking for is feces. F-E-C-E-S.
And it can even quench your kids' endless thirst for knowledge.
Okay, Google, how do you make ice cream?
First, take the newborn calf away from his mother. Next, steal the mother's milk.
Truth Mode, giving you 100% of the information, whether you like it or not.
Be smart, go vegan.
Really? I've been silenced this whole time. Okay. Kind of good. If you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, welcome to the channel. We are live, and I'm here to share some shocking truths that have been hidden from you. Stay tuned. I'm going to reveal a link to a documentary. If you're new watching here, you are not going to believe this. Your modern day church says you can do these things, but I've got a documentary that shows you a contradiction of what the church is saying. The church tells the world it's okay to stab animals to death, chop off their heads and eat them. And they also tell you not to worry about the suffering they go through. Let me show you a scripture from the Bible, what they put in there. And here it is on the screen. 1 Corinthians 10, verses 25 to 26. This is Paul the Apostle. This is what the church tell people. Eat whatever is sold in a meat market, without raising any question on the ground of your conscience. For the earth and its fullness are the Lord's. Let's look at the deeper meaning of this. This is control. This is telling you, nope, don't look at the suffering the animals go through. Don't even question that emotion you're having right now when you see the animals screaming and the blood everywhere and the death, the suffering and violence. Don't even question this. That's control and manipulation. The church is telling you, don't question your conscience. Buy whatever you want. Well, I'm here today to show you the truth. They lied to you. Check out this documentary, watchdominion.com. It's free to watch. I'm not gonna trap you or trick you like this church. You know what they do with your money? You know, I used to go to this church where there's over 1,500 members go every week. They have 5 services over the weekend because there's so many people. And each one of them is pressured to give 10% of all their earnings every month before tax. They make that very clear. Give it before tax. And this church just builds bigger churches. I never see them help the homeless or do anything. There's people in the churches that are desperate and they give all they've got. They guilt trip you into giving this 10% and tell you this. Whatever's sold in the meat market, without any question, don't look at your conscience. Don't look at your conscience when you're paying for animals to suffer. Wow. That's a big red flag, right? So this documentary, it's called Dominion, and it's free to watch at watchdominion.com. Man, it contradicts what the church is saying here, because I'm going to challenge you. Face your conscience. Face the truth, and then you make your own choice. Don't listen to the church telling you, oh, don't question your own conscience. Just pay for the animals to suffer. Kill them. Pay for them to be killed. Don't look. Well, I'm telling you, they're hiding a lot from you. And this is the truth. This is the documentary. WatchDominion.com. It's free to watch. You don't have to pay anything. It's all free. And the reason I'm showing this documentary is because I believe the world owes you the truth. You've been lied to enough. You think when you go into the grocery store, you're making your own choices in that grocery store? You have been manipulated, conditioned, programmed to give your hard-earned money to these companies. They hide truths from you. Like in the dairy industry, cows don't naturally give milk. He's like, what? That's right. You didn't know that. They hide this from you. There's a chain of events, a shocking chain of events that have to happen for that milk to happen. They hide it from you. I share this documentary today, Dominion, for you to wake up to the truth. What do you got to lose? WatchDominion.com. Watch it all the way through. And then I want you to question your own thoughts. Why would the church not want me to face this truth? Why wouldn't they want me to question my own conscience here? Because you would stop paying for it, right? This is manipulation and conditioning. You would stop. You might change and choose this more ethical path of mercy and love. Oh, wow. That's the cold, hard truth. So, Paul the Apostle. Let's talk about Paul the Apostle here, right? Why would Paul I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to tell you some shocking truths. If you're a minister or a pastor watching, message me, please. Come on here. Let's have a debate, because Paul was demon possessed. He even went to God and said, please remove this demon. And God said, no. You stays with you. And he was blind. Demon-possessed blind Paul said, don't question your own conscience, cause suffering and violence to animals, sacrifice thy lives. We already know God was against sacrificing animals. He wants us to show mercy. So what's Paul focused on here? His stomach, his taste and pleasure. Paul learned not to face the truth, not to question his own conscience, and just eat whatever he wants. He's sacrificing animals to his stomach. He's worshipping his stomach. Philippians chapter 3, verse 19 on the screen. The end is destruction, the God is the belly, and the glory is in their shame. Their minds are set on earthly things. I'm ashamed of mankind. I'm ashamed that some of you will choose the cruelty option. Off with their head. Kill them. While I get a snack, a sandwich. You don't even remember the sandwich you ate yesterday, right? That was someone's life. You cold-hearted bastard. Unfaithful bastard. God's asking you to show love and mercy, and yet you turn your back on him. Manipulate. All right, I'll let you off the hook. You were manipulated and conditioned. But today, I'm sharing the truth at watchdominion.com. You can watch this and make a more ethical choice. You don't have to choose your belly. Face the conscience. Face the feelings and emotion that are going to come up out of here when you see suffering animals go through, when you see the truth. And question yourself about what you really want to do, right? How's the microphone working, by the way? This is the new microphone. I was going to put it here, but I kind of just put it above. It's right here. So it's not in the shot, and you don't see a microphone here. And hopefully it's not crackly and stuff. Let's take a moment. What else have we got in here? There's a link for anyone interested. It's called Dominion, the documentary I'm talking about. And there's the link at the bottom of the screen at www.watchdominion.com. You can also go to YouTube and type in Dominion documentary and just check out the picture in the background. That's what you'll see. And it shows you that hidden truths in this world, in the meat, egg, and dairy industry. Don't think for 1 second when you go into a grocery store, you're not causing violence and evil in this world, because you are. And the fact is, there's a disconnection that the world has hid from you. They hid everything in this documentary has been hidden from you. So you'll go in there and just give them your hard-earned money. There's a chain of events of violence and suffering that happens in this world. It's so horrendous. I can't play this whole video on the screen. They'll turn it off. It would be for adults only. I can't even use AI to mimic it. The AI says, no, I can't. It's too graphic. These graphics things is what the modern day church says you can do. Acts of violence, acts of evil. Come on, it's evil. Steal an animal's child? Forcibly impregnate the mother? Chop off their head with a knife? Come on, these are satanic thoughts. Think about this. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about the Levi, the priest, the liar that made a deal with the devil. Let me tell you about Levi and his family there in the temple. I'm telling you that he made a deal with the devil. the devil disguised as God built in this temple and said, all I need in return is you can eat the flesh of the animals. That's your reward in full, but pour the innocent blood into the ground for me. Sprinkle it everywhere. What? Satanic. What would happen if we did that today? You'd be arrested. Killing animals in the street, sprinkling blood everywhere. You'd be arrested. But no, it was okay in the Bible. This Bible that people worship. Don't fall into this trap of worshipping a book. We have to break away from this old type of thinking. Worship? I don't worship anyone. What's this word worship? When I say I love God, who am I saying I love God to? Or do I love this violent God that says kill and sacrifice animals? Or do I say I love this God that wants me to speak up for them, show love and mercy? We can't do both. I'd be a hypocrite. I can't say to God, okay, I'm going to show you all the animals mercy and kindness while I'm killing them and sticking them in my stomach. You can't show love and mercy while killing an animal or paying for someone else to do it for you. The blood's still on your hands. The world has caused this disconnection so you don't see. It's called double-mindedness. This side doesn't see what this side sees. It's called a hypocrite. Are you a hypocrite watching? Or is the heart so hard and callous? Can we really go so deep down? Let's think about my past here. There's time that I've killed animals in the past. I'm sure many people have. I think my first experience of killing animals, oh my gosh, when I think back, I'm so ashamed. I think I was 12 or 13 years old, and I went round to my friend's house, and he had a swarm of ants in his kitchen. And he said, come on in. Oh, look, check out all these ants under the sink here. He said, watch this. And he got a gas canister. And he's letting all this gas come out and then lit a spark. They're all dead, just like that. I was numb. No emotion. Do you know why I was numb and had no emotion? We've been conditioned and manipulated by this world to have a hardened heart when it comes to animals. Apart from cats and dogs, dolphins and horses. They've turned us into a hypocrite. They've caused us to be double-minded so we don't see. Well, I'm here to remove this blink of this double-mindedness by sharing the whole truth. And this is it. At watchdominion.com, it's free to watch. Watch it on the big screen. Wake up to the truth. Be free of this slavery of suffering and violence. You're not a cold-hearted killer anymore. You never was. I go into the grocery store, I order a piece of meat, as that's what we call it, a piece of meat, an egg, and a glass of milk. I've just caused a male calf to be murdered a couple of hours old, a cow to be forcibly impregnated. I've caused a pig to be electrocuted, sent to a gas chamber, have his or her throat sliced open against their will while they're screaming and crying, and yet I didn't feel any emotion here when I was in the store, smiling at the clerk, buying these things. Because there's a disconnection. And this disconnection keeps your heart hard. We need to face the truth. And I'm here to share the truth. WatchDominion.com. It's on the bottom of the screen. WatchDominion.com. It's free to watch. Please go watch it. Watch it all the way through. Come and check out my service. Tomorrow, Bible study. We will be live at 3 p.m. on the Sabbath. That's right. Friday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be live. Come and talk to me. I don't want to be alone. I want to be with kind people like you. If you're non-vegan watching, I know there's kindness in there. All my family are non-vegan. All my friends are non-vegan. I see the kindness within you. But I also see that hardened part in there as well, where we don't want to look at the animals killed, because this is that double-mindedness we just talked about. We don't want to look over here. We just want to stay here in our safe zone, right? Well, I'm here to remove this. And if you trust me, watch this documentary, Dominion. Watch Dominion.com. It's going to remove this blinker and you're going to see the world in a different light. Just like Neo did in the movie The Matrix. When he woke up and he pulled that thing out of his throat, it's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm telling you, you're going to be awakened to the truth. Maybe you'll even go vegan. I've known people in the past that have said to me, Brian, I'll never go vegan. Go vegan. It's because the world's brainwashed us not to face the truth. They want us to stay double-minded. It's a form of manipulation and conditioning and control. So when you go in the grocery store, you just give the money without even thinking of the consequences or the actions you're taking. You're just focused on your stomach and pleasure and taste. That's it. The blind leading the blind. Well, it's not going to happen anymore. I'm here to share the shocking truth, my friends. All right, we have Tina. Hey, Tina. I have watched it. I can't bring myself to watch it. I am vegan and animal rights activist. Awesome. How would you compare Dominion to Earthlings? Which would you recommend? Thanks for the comment, Tina. It's great. And thank you for your activism as well. I think it's important after we go vegan, definitely to speak up. I know a lot of people, and I was at first, I was afraid. I tried speaking to family members and they shut you down and silence you. And then you're afraid to say anything again in case they yell at you. But yeah, it's important that we start to speak up, and we've all got our skill sets. We can find something within us, right? The documentary Dominion, yeah, definitely don't watch it if you're already a vegan. The truth is, I force myself to watch it sometimes when I need to kick up the butt. when I need to be bolder, when I need to spend more time outreaching, speaking up for the oppressed. There's been times where I've been in situations like in a grocery store or at work when I could have said something and I didn't. So I force myself to watch the documentary here just to give me a boost. It encourages me because I think the animals need us. So that's the only reason I would watch it. Or I stand in the streets like Anonymous to the Voiceless and I play it on the TV and I'm showing it people. So I have to watch it when I'm explaining these things to people. But yeah, Earthlings, yes, I've watched Earthlings. I think Evil One. Earthlings is Walking Phoenix, right? It's the same person. There's the narrative. I think Evil One, it just shows the cold, hard truth that was hid from us. And I think the other one as well, Land of Hope and Glory, they were all shocking. Land of Hope and Glory by Earthling Ed. Cowspiracy. I know if people watching that are vegetarian because they don't want to go suffering to animals, check out the documentary Cowspiracy on Netflix. It's free to watch. You're going to be shocked. Who would have thought paying for milk would cause this immense amount of violence and suffering and evil in this world? Absolutely shocking. Yeah, so I appreciate the comment. You're welcome, Tina. It's just Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning into the channel. So yeah, I'm live. I'm just live. It's kind of doing an online cube of truth to see how things go. And for anyone vegan watching, just as a warning, maybe I'll do this in about 10-15 minutes. Just to this side of me, I'm going to put a tiny little screen about this big. So if you're vegan watching, you just kind of stay back. You're not really going to get to see the screen. But anyone non-vegan watching, I'm here to show you the cold, hard truth today. I'm going to show you some clippets from Anonymous to the Voiceless from this documentary, WatchDominion.com, that if you're on your cell phone and you're non-vegan, you've got to see this truth. You just zoom in on your phone to this little tiny square, and you'll be able to see, because there's a lot of truths they hide from us. I didn't know. I was oblivious. I always thought I was kind and compassionate to animals. I always loved dogs and cats. We even fostered little puppy dogs at home. I thought I was the kindest person in the world to animals. And yet, all the time, I'm paying for them to go through living hell. I didn't know. I was oblivious to it until I woke up and showed an act of mercy. So I'm here to show the truth to the world. And you've got a choice. You can stay here if you're non-vegan watching, watch this little clip video here, or in the privacy of your own home, you can watch this for free, no charge, this documentary. It's called Dominion at watchdominion.com. I will, let me see, Dominion gave me nightmares. Yes, it does. I use it as a booster sometimes to push me. You know, I do vigils by myself. So I'll stand outside a slaughterhouse by myself holding a sign that says, "Meat is murder." People find that very offensive, but they don't find the killing offensive. But I do it on purpose so I can have conversations with people and hopefully they stop and wake up to the truth. I'm trying to plant a seed in the driver's minds or people's minds that, what, murder? What was he talking about? And just out of this non-vegan world, people start to think just for a second, well, maybe. Yes, it's called dystopia. Is that the word, dystopia? I think I'm thinking. When I woke up to the truth and I watched Dominion, I broke down. I was so overwhelmed with emotion, overwhelming crying. I'm thinking, how am I going to fix this? How can I stop the world when no one's listening? But so we break down. We feel like worthless. There's nothing we can do. So what can you do? Well, you just do the little things you can do. So I was going to the vigils. I'm standing in the street showing slaughterhouse footage. And I find when I'm stood in the street, I use that anonymous for the voiceless approach, using the kind of scripted, holding people accountable. And when someone says to me, you know, Brian, I'm going to go vegan, after I've called them a hypocrite and they go away and I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll go vegan. I planted some seeds, and this is what it's about, planting seeds. If we can just get the world to watch the truth, I think we're onto something. But yeah, it does give nightmares. It takes a long time. You know, I'm stood in the street showing this kind of footage over and over again. I remember there's a mother cow, and she falls down in the slaughterhouse, and the slaughterer worker puts a knife in her throat and doesn't go deep enough. Then he goes back, puts it in a little deeper, and the cow flinches. It horrifies me, that scene of this mother going through this horrendous nightmare. And I flashbacks of that section. And I remember stood in the street one day, and there's this guy. It looks like he's shocked by what he's watching. It's like this, you know, watching on the screen, and as I'm explaining what's happening. And then when I finish, he looks around at me and says, "What am I meant to eat then?" I thought, what a hardened heart. He's just thinking about his stomach the whole time. You see how the heart can be hardened where no emotion whatsoever comes out. So hopefully he goes away. We never know. When we share the truth, when people go away, they may or might change. And this is my goal. We do the little as we can, right? As little as we can. Voldemort's turban. Hello, friend. Welcome to the channel here. So we're live, just going over the documentary Dominion, the hidden truth that the world hid from us. Oh, we have a dystopia. Yeah, dystopia. Or dystopia. Yeah, that's right. Claire Mann came up with this word, dystopia. It's like a huge depression that can take a hold of us and puts us in a stage where we feel like we're depressed. I even felt like for a while there I was having mental problems. I thought some kind of mental nervous breakdown because of this, when in fact it's not me. It's the rest of the world that have been conditioned and numbed not to feel a thing. This is the problem. It's a reverse psychology here. So yeah, it's feeling some kind of emotion out of this heart is good. It knows we're alive again. So dealing with it's another thing. Yeah, so I think for me, medicine is outreaching to people and seeing people change. That I watched Paul Bashir a couple of days ago outreach to a guy that was, I think it was 77 years old, went vegan on the spot, got in the cube, put the TV on, and very inspiring. Very inspiring, brings a tear to me eye every time I see people change, see their hearts change. Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, so yeah, watchdominion.com. Oh my goodness. So if there's any ministers watching of the modern day church, any pastors watching from the modern day church, and you want to come on here, or if there's any vegans or animal rights activists that's watching that want to come on here, you've got a microphone, you got a camera, let me know. I'll put a link on the screen. You're free to join. Share your thoughts, share your testimony, share why you think we should live this more vegan lifestyle. Let me see if I can put a link on the screen. If you're non-vegan, you're quite welcome to come on and share with me why you think I've got it wrong, and maybe we should kill the animals. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to listen if you're willing to share with me a for a good reason, right? I want to hear your objections. All right, so there's a link on the screen. You would just need, I think you can join this from a phone, computer, wherever. I think you need to close out of YouTube, and you put this link in. You can come up, show your testimony, ask me a question, whatever you want to do, and I'll leave that on the screen if anyone wants to join. Well, we are live, just to let you know that we're live on Facebook on Vegan Church Service page. We're live on Vegano Guro, which is my Facebook page too. That's a Spanish name for me, Vegan Warrior. Let me share a quick story, a testimony about myself here. Which I thought I had this nervous breakdown, a mental breakdown many years ago. And some people believe in God, some don't. So just stick with me, okay? So a long time ago, at the age of around 30 years old, I went to this church and I had some questions for the pastor. And he said, you know what, Brian, I'm busy right now, but come round to the house and tomorrow I'll have a cup of tea and we'll talk about it. So I thought, okay, great. So I went round to the pastor's house. I'm in the pastor's house. I'm talking to him. And I heard this overwhelming voice. Here comes the mental craziness. Overwhelming voice within my head that said, just open the book, Brian, and start reading. I thought, whatever, don't be so stupid. That's crazy. I'm not going to do that. I couldn't ignore this voice. And guess what I did? In front of this pastor in a house, in his family home, I opened the book, stood up, and I just started reading. And I don't know where I'm reading from. I'm not familiar with any of this Bible stuff. So I'm reading from this Bible. And I remember screaming these words at him very loudly. And there's a few words I remember, a few I don't. And then I heard a voice saying, you can go now. And I came out of the house. And then I heard this voice say to me, Brian, one day in the future, I'm going to have you stood in the streets like a gateway. And those that come to face the truth can come through your gateway. And then the voice said, write down on your arms so you never forget this. This faith that you have. Wow. So that was a long time ago. 17 years later, after that experience, I went vegan. I didn't even think about this past. So 17 years later, I'm vegan. I'm stood in the streets showing slaughterhouse footage, trying to wake people up. And guess what I did to my arms? I got the word vegan here. Vegan Warrior. I wrote on my arms. So God, it's like he knew I was always going to change. He knew he was always going to use me to defend animals, speak up for them, All right, so yeah, there we go. Dominion, documentary Dominion. If you have any objections why we shouldn't be vegan, let me know. Put them in the chat, in the comments there. If you want to come on here, have an open debate with me, there's a link on the screen. It's free. I don't charge anything. You just put that link into a browser on your phone or on a computer. You need a camera and a microphone. You can come on here and share live with the world why you think we shouldn't be vegan or we should be. You want to share your testimony? We can't stay at home afraid of speaking up, afraid of having our emotions, our buttons pushed, being hurt, right? Now, if you were in the animal's position, what do you think they would want you to do? It's very hard for me at first to stand in front of a camera and speak. It was hard for me to stand in the street and speak to people live, right in their face, sharing the truth. It can be difficult, you know, so yeah. Well, the documentary is called Dominion. It's in the background here. WatchDominion.com. It's free to watch. You can watch it on YouTube. It shows you the shocking truth from the meat, egg, and dairy industry. And guess what? Your modern day church say you can do this? The pastor of a church that meant to be promoting compassion, peace, and love say you can do what happens in this documentary. It's God approved from this church. Every church, the Catholic Church, the Christian churches, Muslim churches, Hindu churches around this world say you can do what's in this documentary. Are they telling the truth or lying? You know what they say in the scriptures? They tell you not to look. Let me share on the screen here. There's a scripture that says, eat whatever is sold in the meat market without raising any question on the ground of your conscience. It's telling you not to question yourself here. Just eat whatever you want. Focus on your selfish desires. So why would the church tell you to focus on your selfish desires and not think about the suffering others go through? They approve what happens in this documentary. If you're a pastor of a church or a minister watching right now and you approve what happens in this documentary, at least you need to watch it, right? It's free to watch. If God really said you can do this, watch it. If it's good enough for your stomach, it's got to be good enough for your eyes, right? WatchDominion.com. It shows the hidden truth. What happens in the meat, egg, and dairy industry. Your church approved. Watch it. It's free to watch. This is not a charity or some scam to make money or profit. This is free. It's for you to watch. The hidden truth. Blows me away. The truth. What if the truth? Oh, where did my StreamYard go? Yeah, for anyone watching, if you're, I think there was a guy here a couple of days ago, non-vegan, wanted to come on here and doing live. I didn't see your email, so if you're watching, put a little note in the comments that you want to come on here live, share your testimony, or you want to share something, or you have questions, you're not afraid of coming on the camera. Let me know in the comments. Here's the link. You copy that into a browser, and you can come on here. You just need a camera and a microphone, and we can put you on this screen. Don't be afraid. You're safe. You're not in front of people. You're behind your camera. Open up your heart and share your testimony why you went vegan. We all went vegan for different reasons. I chose to go vegan because, well, first of all, I didn't know what the word vegan, I'd never heard of it before. There was a day I was 47 years old, and I thought to myself, you know, these animals shouldn't have to die for me. I'm not going to eat the flesh of animals anymore. I'm going ethical vegetarian right now. And that was my first step. I didn't want to cause, no animal should have to die for me. And once I made that change in my heart, this small act of love here, I knew I would never go back. Isn't that crazy? I remember in the past, I used to smoke cigarettes. And every time I tried quitting smoking, I started again. Because I never really knew I'd quit. Right? It's different. when you do this act of love here, this ethical change in the heart, something snaps into place. It's as if my entire life came to that moment and it was meant to happen. Either I choose cruelty or mercy. It was meant to happen. What do they call that? Something that's meant to happen? Is it kismet? Kismet? I don't know, but anyway, that was my start of living this vegan lifestyle. And being vegan, it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle. The same love and mercy I have for the people around me, I extend that to the animals too, because they're just like you and me, the truth, right? They don't want to die. They have a living soul, just like you and me. Of course, the church will lie to you and say they don't, when in fact there's at least 10 scriptures in the Bible that says they do, and there isn't a single scripture in the Bible that says they don't. The church will lie to you bold-faced, right to your face, and say, no, they don't have a soul. There isn't a single scripture that says they don't. Ask them. Go to your church, say, okay, oh, they don't? Okay. Can you show me in the Bible where it says they don't have a soul? Because they won't be able to. I can show you 10 right now. We can start with Genesis. I'm not going to pull them on the screen, but Genesis 1:30 says, this is God talking to the animals, and he says to the animals, I'm going to give you all this plant-based foods. All these green plants are going to be yours for those that have the breath of life. So the original Hebrew word for this breath of life is called nephesh. And it's funny that when they talk about man having this soul, the soul that man has is the same Hebrew word, nephesh. They just changed it slightly. So this nephesh, there it is, the breath of life. It's right there in Genesis 1:30. And there's 10 other instances of this throughout the scriptures. And in fact, if anyone wants to pull up scriptures, you can feel free to, or write them down. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 19 clearly states that animals and mankind have the same breath of life. There you go. And come on, you can tell, right? When you look at a fruit or a vegetable, they're not going to remember you. When you chop up a fruit and vegetable, they don't pull away in fear. There's no blood. It's because the food, it's common sense. But animals are different. They will pull away. They'll scream, in fact. Beg for mercy. There'll be blood. Violence has to happen. You can't lovingly kill an animal. You have to cause this act of violence, a thrust of a knife. It's an act of violence to kill and destroy someone that doesn't want to die. So this emotions animals have, you must have seen it with your cat or a dog at home, and you look at them in the face. You know there's someone in there, right? They remember you. That's right. They have a living soul, just like you and me. And in fact, in Ecclesiastes 3:19, it says, who knows whether the animal's soul or man's soul goes up or down? It's talking about heaven or hell. So it's very clear that I know at least 10 scriptures in the Bible that says animals have a soul. Don't believe me? Check out, test it. Go to your modern day church and say, hey, how you doing? I've just had a question. Do animals have a soul like we do? And I guarantee they will boldface lie to you and say, no, they don't, without a single scripture as evidence. I guarantee it. There's many lies that they do too. Regarding this, I don't know, the blind leading the blind, they call it. All right, so check out the documentary Dominion, watchdominion.com. I don't know if I have so many windows open here at the bottom of the screen. I don't know who's clicking on what here. All right, I got some scripture verses from a book, not the Bible. You might think, what? How can there be scriptures in another book? Well, how about this? There's two books that the original manuscripts all of a sudden went missing in a non-vegan world, but these two books actually promote living a vegan lifestyle. That's right. So these were translated, reproduced in around 1850. There's two books I have access to here. One was meant to be archived and received from the Vatican vaults, and the other one from a Tibet monastery, and they're both translated into French, and now we have this English version. And the two books I actually have them right here on the desk. One is called The Essene Gospel of Peace. And I tell you now, if you get rid of the Bible and replace it with this, the whole world would be vegan tomorrow. And then the other book, of course, is the Gospel of the Holy 12. Again, now this book is meant to be the writings of the 12 disciples. And I can tell you right now in this book, it clearly states that you shouldn't be eating animals whatsoever and keep away from them unless you become slaves of Satan. Now, I actually took a couple of snippets from these books, and I'm going to put them on the screen here so you can see them. There's a first snippet. It says, "Kill not, neither eat the flesh of your innocent prey, lest you become the slaves of Satan. For that is the path of suffering, and it leads unto death. But do the will of God, that his angels may serve you on the way of life." Wow. It says very clearly there about being some kind of slave of Satan. Oh, did we miss it? Remember, before you changed, we were manipulated and conditioned to think animals were food. We fell for it. We were tricked by people that loved us. Maybe they didn't know themselves. Maybe they were dead in their ways, blind to the truth. Well, I'm here to share the truth. I'm awake. I understand the truth, and I share it with the world today. And here's the documentary in the background. It's called WatchDominion.com. It's free to watch. If you're non-vegan and you're open-minded, watch it. Make up your own mind, because the truth sets us free from the conditioning and manipulation of this world. And in the spiritual sense, you're no longer going to be a slave to Satan. Wow. It's powerful words, right? Here's another snippet on the screen here. This is from the little white book. And it says, "Verily I say unto you, they who partake of the benefits which are gotten by wronging one of the Most High God's creatures cannot be righteous, nor can they understand holy things, or teach the mysteries of the kingdom. Those hands are stained with blood, or whose mouths are defiled with flesh. The Most High God giveth the grains and the fruits of the earth for food. And for the righteous man, truly there is no other lawful substance for the body. Wherefore, I say unto all who desire to be my followers, keep your hands from bloodshed, and let no meat enter your mouths. For the Most High God is just and bountiful, who ordaineth that man shall live by the fruits and seeds of the earth alone." Very powerful readings, my friends. Check them out. You could probably listen to an audio version of these on YouTube for free. Or if you have Amazon, there's probably a PDF. You can read them both for free. They blow me away. So this is my... love to read these. All right, so I'm probably going to end my live event here. We've been on for... What time did I start? 8:30? 2 hours? Wow. For anyone watching now or watching later, please watch the documentary Dominion. It's free to watch. Go into a browser, watchdominion.com, type it in there, www.watchdominion.com. Learn the truth that the world hides from you, and then turn it off, and you, my friend, make up your own mind. Do not be manipulated by anybody in this world. I'm asking you to show mercy to God's creation. Thank you for watching, my friends. I'm going to end the live video. I appreciate everyone that shared, everyone that said hello, and God bless every one of you. Until tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be live again as we study the scriptures in the Bible. I want to prove to you and to the world that God is vegan and Satan is... What do you think? Take care, my friends.